And there is one plugin that, like, I've been dreaming about this plugin and I finally kind of got it. Just a tiny bit of gear, but that stuff is actually not what I expected. Boring cables in blue and red, and a little very cheap controller. I have big plans for this thing, more on that in the coming days. But yeah, it's not what I expected. Like right there at my table, there's like one slot still free for one last epic piece of equipment to make this entire studio, at least on the gear front, complete. And since my gear addiction isn't satisfied at all, I need something else to just keep it under control. Everything is installed and running. The next best thing to new gear are actually new plugins. It satisfies a little less, but it satisfies the same itch. And there is one plugin that, like, I've been dreaming about this plugin and I finally kind of got it, like, I don't know, like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I was thinking about what kind of plugin isn't there yet, what could help. And I'm not a pro in plugin making, I don't have a clue at all. I'm just making music. Can only imagine how hard it must be to code all this kind of stuff. Very complicated, a lot of numbers, very, 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 very nerdy. But I thought, like, I mean, you know, I absolutely love Span. Span is like an analyzer. It's for free. If you don't have it yet, go get it. I'll link it down below. It's amazing. You can swipe through frequencies and you can like have two graphs in there, one showing you the side signal, one showing you like the mid signal. That's very, very handy to have. But the dream of a plugin I had was actually having an analyzer that could show you the graph of every single element in your song. That would be like genius, because then you could have like the kick, a graph just for the kick, a graph just for the bass, and see both at the same time overlapping each other. And with that knowledge, know how to EQ those against each other or sidechain them so that they don't collide that much. And now I got something that actually does exactly that. Let's open it up. Audio units, Melda Productions multi-analyzer, fresh installed. It's right now on the kick and it shows you the frequency of the kick. You can also put it in a sonogram mode and see everything you would ever want to see of any kind of sound. You can also see a loudness wave, so it actually shows you the waveform. That is extremely, extremely handy when it comes to mastering and like catching peaks, taking care of them. But more on that in a bit, because there is more. Of course, stereo. It's a kick. It's that mono in the center, and an oscilloscope. But now let's actually pick like the main synthesizer and put the same plugin on there, and that's like where the magic happens. Let's put both on Spectrum. Let's maybe really quick color code it. Let's put the main synthesizer in red, say okay. So fascinating. You can also close one of them. So you can put an instance of the plugin on every channel if needed, and view every channel against each other. You can have the vocal in there, see how the vocal interacts with the guitar, EQ maybe the guitar to have more room for the vocal and actually see it, or maybe use track spacer or like some sort of form of sidechaining to like duck it, and it's amazing. Like I love it so much. Even all of the other modes work. I can select every element, put it in there, not in there. I love it. This is just genius. Like plugins since 1 or 2 years reached this new level since they can like exchange information with other instances. I think Isotope also does it with Neutron, where you have like similar kind of stuff going on. Some Wave plugins also do it. But yeah, I personally will put an instance into my autoload on all of my 8 sub channels. I think 8 is enough. Having it on every single element is maybe a little excessive, but it's great. I love it, absolutely love it. And I also have, of course, more. I bought more plugins, but first a tiny bit of music making before I get entirely lost in gear and plugins. Great successful session, worked on an entirely new song. The next kind of plugin I got is, I think, an essential at the moment. You know, I absolutely love the Better Maker mastering limiter because it has a clipper built in, and a lot of people ask me what should they use if they can't afford it as an analog unit. What is like the closest thing? And I think it is the, by Sir Audio Tools standard clip. You might already own it. If you don't, get it. It's very inexpensive. I've tested it this entire session already. It's a clipper. It just clips the signal a little, but it's so handy. Let's just dial it down. It shows you in the graph like the peaks that are being cut. So you just make sure it like cuts the very top. For example, you could use it on the master to like have a louder sound without getting the pumping that a compressor might introduce. You can use a limiter and a clipper both together, which is probably the smartest. You could also use it, for example, on a drum bus. Let's say your snare is just hitting way too hard. If you clip it a little, it kind of keeps the volume, but it doesn't like push the dynamics of your song, and you have everything way more under control. Just like really, if you don't have a clipper, get one. It's like the most modern way of tweaking things and pushing them even a bit further. By the way, I tried to get even some more stuff, but somehow like while trying to shop for it, I just didn't feel like anymore getting it because there was something going on that just annoyed me so much as a customer and was so shady. I just skipped, and I'm trying to find some alternatives. I'll tell you everything about it, but first I need to really hurry up. You know, it's Saturday, promised not to work, not head over to the studio. And here I am, 6 hours later, getting dark. By the way, that car over there, 2 people sitting in the back and just enjoying the view. I can't understand, COVID is like so annoying. There's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do than just working and grocery shopping. A lot of grocery shopping. But I'm gonna rise. I'm gonna stand up. We're actually so bored. We bought like the masterclass thing where you can learn by a bunch of famous people's stuff. We'll test it. It really always looks amazing, and I think it's better to maybe learn something instead of just watching stupid Netflix. And I'm trying again for the second time to buy these plugins, but it's like, I don't know, it just makes me angry. It's like the Wave stuff. It's kind of weird. They are expensive, and then they always have sales where you get it for really cheap, but the sales are almost always. And then on Black Friday, you pay so much less that if you buy it any other day, you're just kind of stupid. And their upselling is what made me mad. I think it's fine if a company has a bundle, but then they tell you if you buy a certain amount, you get something for free, but then you only get the bad stuff for free, the good stuff not. And if you like combine it, it's like calculated, very intelligent. It makes you directly spend more just to get again a little more. And they make it in such a greedy way that like it was impossible for me to buy. It like confused me, like trying to find something and then the additional and then the coupon, and it never added up. They made the numbers so smart that no matter how you calculate it and how you combine it, you're always screwed. You either buy more, or you're always left with the feeling to miss out and losing out and actually not making a good deal. It annoyed me so much. I don't know if it's smart or just greedy or somewhere in between, but honestly, like there are a lot of things about these plugins that I'm stepping away a little from them. They're so good new alternatives. Wave stuff isn't anymore like the best, and a lot of companies, like for example SSL, they now have their own stuff, which is way newer, way better coded, and actually by the company that makes the hardware. Quick interruption, John from the future. There are two things I forgot while filming that video about the Wave stuff. First of all, the upgrade policy. They have a very weird upgrade policy. Within the first year where you buy a plugin, you get upgrades, but then you have to subscribe for a monthly payment to keep on receiving the newest updates. And especially right now where the new Mac M1 was introduced, like if I buy something now and it takes them a year to upgrade, I have to buy it again. And that just sucks. I don't want to have to pay twice for the same thing. It's like ridiculous. And there's a lot of other stuff also going on, like having it on other devices is like an annoyance. I don't know why they do it. And the second is like they introduce more and more plugins where I'm questioning the use of them actually, like having, I don't know, the sound of an Abbey Road studio on your headphones with head tracking. That's kind of gimmicky, and it's like it is sold and advertised in a way where it's like, hey, if you're a beginner and you want that pro sound for cheap and trick it and then just buy this and you have it. That's not how it's working. You can't fake a studio sound onto your headphones. To a certain extent, you can improve the sound of your headphones with software, but you cannot have a multi-million-dollar studio on your ears. That's just not possible. That's not the way it works. And I also remember how they did Chris Lord-Alge, like where his, or whatever he's called, like his mixing thing, they translated it into software. It's by definition not possible. And then it didn't have any solo and mutes and you had to route it. It was like, I've never seen something like that. So yeah, back to the video. Anyways, let me know what you think about it. I'm trying out in the meantime this thing right here, program it probably for the next hour and see if it actually does what I want it to do. So that's pretty much it. I've like a little confession to make. we ordered quite a lot of stuff. I mean, like COVID, no haircut, not going outside, no nothing. It's just full lockdown, grocery shopping, working, and buying a bunch of stuff on the internet.